Welcome, welcome. Some things don't always work out the way we planned. I had a different show planned for you tonight, but that didn't happen, and in March, I was left looking for another show. And the 8th graders came to my rescue. Well, the 8th graders and a couple other conversations I overheard. Tonight's play has its roots in real life because we had some students who were confused as to which holiday came in May and which holiday came in September. Was it Memorial Day or Labor Day? And calendar confusion was born. So, without further ado, let us begin tonight's show.
Wow, that was awesome. You're a really great pitcher.
Thanks. It's a team sport, though. I'm sure your team appreciates having you behind the plate, too.
I do what I can. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem.
Glad you could come. So, what are you guys going to do for Labor Day?
Labor Day in September?
Planning ahead for high school already? That's a bit extreme, even for you.
No, I think she means, Monday after school gets out.
That's Memorial Day. I always get those confused. Lots of people do, honestly.
Which is weird because they're nothing alike at all.
A lot of people just think of them as the official start or end of summer. I even hear it referred to that way on the news sometimes.
And why not? Everyone loves a good day off.
But holidays also have a deeper meaning than just another day off.
Right. Do you know why Memorial Day is a national holiday?
Something about thanking people who fought in wars, thanking them for their service.
That's Veterans Day. Good grief.
Grief does have something to do with it.
Definitely. And remembering those who not just fought in wars, but died in them too.
Well, did you know that the first Memorial Day took place right after the Civil War, way back in 1868?
No, I didn't know that. To truly understand this holiday, you have to start at the beginning. Look over there. Do you see that young Civil War soldier who fought for the North? Where?
I don't see anything.
There, over there.
Oh yeah, I see him.
This is the year 1866, only 1 year after the Civil War ended. I came to this cemetery to remember one of my friends who was killed in the war.
And he found us here.
And I was amazed and surprised by their kindness.
We came to take care of graves of soldiers from the South who were killed.
But they were also taking care of my friend's grave, and he was from the North.
His friend's grave was neglected and needed tended to. North or South, all these boys died fighting for what they believed in, and they all deserve to be remembered.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to help these kind women take care of all of these graves.
That is one legend about how Memorial Day began. Really?
Yes, the story goes that in 1866, a soldier from the North came upon two Southern women taking care of a Northern soldier's grave.
Even though soldiers from the South disagreed with soldiers from the North?
Exactly. Seeing the two sides come together helped people realize that both sides are grieving for their fallen young men. But as I said, this is just one legend about how Memorial Day began. There are actually many legends about its start. Over 24 states claim to have helped it begin.
New York played an important part in starting this holiday. In 1873, we were the first state to officially recognize Memorial Day as a holiday. Wait a minute! St. Paul held a parade in 1870. Just like New York thinks that they're first in everything. Mississippi was also important of the first Memorial Day celebration. Pennsylvania helped Memorial Day. Georgia. So did Georgia. Hey, don't forget forget about Virginia. We helped too.
But when did it become an official holiday?
We skipped over the year 1868. That general standing there will tell you more.
That's General John Logan. He's about to make an important announcement.
That's who?
General John Logan. He's the commander of the Grand Army of the Republic in the year of 1868.
The Grand Army of what?
The Grand Army of the Republic. It's a group of veteran soldiers who fought in the Civil War. General John Logan is their leader.
Hush now, he must speak.
On this day, the 5th of May, 1868, we do declare the Observation and Decoration Day. We established this day to help us remember those soldiers who died fighting in the Civil War. Let this show forever that we've not forgotten the cost of a free and undivided country.
This was the first official Memorial Day.
It took place right here at Arlington National Cemetery in Arlington, Virginia.
Let us now observe the graves of both the Southern and the Northern soldiers who died fighting for their beliefs.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for observing Decoration Day.
This is the 1950s. Those soldiers standing there are members of the 3rd United States Infantry. Every Memorial Day, they place small United States flags on all the graves at Arlington National Cemetery. Then they patrol 24 hours a day to make sure the flags stay put. They've been doing this every Memorial Day, even now.
It's a very important job.
Absolutely. We'll place over 260,000 flags this weekend. Did you notice everyone's been calling it Decoration Day? When did it become Memorial Day?
Not yet. Even though people had been celebrating Decoration Day for 100 years, it wasn't until 1971 that Congress officially declared a national holiday, calling it Memorial Day.
But we actually have to back up and talk about the red poppy. Instead, let's go to 1918 when Moyna Michaels gets an idea.
Why is that lady handing out red flowers?
It's a poppy. Would you like one?
Yes, please. Thank you. Can you tell us about these poppies?
Of course. In 1915, I read a lovely poem called In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. The poem talked about poppies growing over a field of buried soldiers. It inspired me to do something to help remember those who had died in the war. I liked the idea of the poppies, so I decided to make some of my own that people could wear to remember.
So the red poppy became a sort of symbol. That's a great way to remember.
Thank you, dear. Now, before I rush off to get some more red poppies for the rest of the day, I'll leave you with this poem. We cherish too the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies.
Moyna's idea got so big that a group of veteran soldiers took on the project as their own. It's called the Buddy Poppy Program, and all the money made goes to help veterans and their families. And it's been so successful that in 1948, the United States Postal Service even made a stamp to honor Moyna Michaels for her efforts. Yes, well, Moyna's idea was a pretty good one, and it keeps us volunteers busy. Please excuse us. We must help Moyna with her poppies.
The poppy tradition has been around a long while then.
Shortly after World War I, around the same time that Moyna was getting the idea for the poppies, it was decided that Memorial Day should be a day to remember all those who have died in all United States wars.
Later, in 1971, it was officially declared a national holiday by Congress. Then, in 1971, it became a national holiday.
Anyway, in 1996, a program was added to Fredericksburg National Cemetery that is still going on today. When was that again? 1996?
We're looking for Fredericksburg National Cemetery.
Why are you going there? Every year before Memorial Day, we put candle lanterns on each of the graves at Fredericksburg National Cemetery.
To commemorate Memorial Day.
That sounds like a big job.
Well, we do light over 15,000 candles each year.
It's called the Luminaria Program.
And even though there's a lot of candles to light, it's a really good way to remember those who have died fighting the war.
But we have to find the cemetery first.
I can help you there. If you keep going that way for a few blocks and then turn right, you can't miss it.
Thanks, let's go!
I had no idea there were so many things that had to do with Memorial Day.
It's such an important holiday that in the year 2000, President Clinton declared a national moment of remembrance to take place at 3 p.m. every Memorial Day. That means that we should stop for 1 minute and think about the people who died fighting in war.
I didn't know that. I'm going to set my phone for Monday at 3.
So really, the conclusion of the Civil War was both a beginning and an ending for our country. It marked the end of slavery and a new beginning for a country that had to come together again after war.
Memorial Day has changed a lot over the years. More than just a day off, Memorial Day has become a day to remember any man or woman who's died during wartime, those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
Cherish to the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies.
So May, Memorial Day. Got it.
September and Labor Day don't really work though.
You guys want to hear a really bad Labor Day joke? Unfortunately, the punchline doesn't really work. Get it? It doesn't work?
That was so bad, it was actually kind of good. But how about this one? Labor Day should actually be in May.
Don't start that again. I just got it straight.
No, because it's the mothers that go into labor. It should be another name for Mother's Day.
It's a dad joke if I ever heard one.
Speaking of hearing things, I heard a new museum exhibit is opening up and they're looking for people to run the exhibits. I was thinking of taking the job.
I could use some money for high school expenses. I'm in.
Same.
I hope we get more applicants for this job soon.
Agreed. So far, I've only had a few candidates.
Me too. I like that Luigi L. Lemoncello who was here a moment ago, but those honking shoes might make it hard to hear the exhibits. I suggested he apply to the circus, but he told me he was interviewing at the library next.
I had an interesting one as well. Some Will Wonka character who kept breaking into song with his green-haired friend with a bad makeover. I sent them on their way. He offered me some chocolate stuff. Figured I'd try them on my lunch break.
Hello, is there a Miss Apply here? I was told you might have some summer work.
I'm Miss Applied. Yes. We do have some openings, don't we, Mystery?
That'd be great.
Do you have any qualifications?
People ask us to reach tall shelves.
And sort through books,
Take down tables.
set up chairs, that kind of thing.
You're hired. Welcome to the Museum of Labor and Industry. Let's go into the Hall of Statues so we can understand more about what kind of work a laborer does.
Look at all these statues. Cool, what do they do?
These are all statues of people who work as laborers. When you press their buttons, they will turn on and explain what kind of work they are involved in.
I want to press a button. Yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
Hello. Why don't you all have fine, pretty clothes? I know all about that because I work in a textile mill. I have a very important job because I help make the cloth that gets turned into the clothes you wear. The next time you go shopping for clothes, remember that I help get them there.
Cool, it's my turn.
Hello. I bet everyone's feeling nice and warm. That's thanks to me. I'm a coal miner and I work deep inside the coal mine to help to bring coal up to you to heat your homes.
And I bet you arrived here today in a car, bus, or train. That had metal in it. You can thank me for that. I work in the steel industry. I got some of his coal, burned it so it can melt steel, and it can be shaped into cars and buildings and other important things that people use.
I wonder what this one will be.
Ahoy there, mates. This is your local sailor here. I helped to catch the fish you ate for dinner last night. Thanks to me, you're getting a healthy, delicious meal without ever having to go to the ocean to get it yourself. Eat up and enjoy.
Last one, here we go.
Well, look at this fine group of people. You look like you know all about world events. That's probably because you read one of the books or newspapers that I help print. Yep, I'm a printer. My job is to cut huge rolls of paper and make sure the ink gets put on in just the right way. It's a big job, and I'm proud to do it.
Wow, they have some pretty important jobs.
Yes, well, don't forget that all jobs are important, just different. They are all a necessary part of life in our country. Well, now that you understand a little bit more about these types of jobs, let's move on to the Hall of Labor History.
This exhibit takes place in 1870 and will show you what kind of conditions many people in the industry used to work in.
Good morning, Emily. You're a bit late this morning. The sun has been up for 5 minutes already.
I know, Jonathan, but workers are so much longer now that it's summer and the sun's a bit longer. I hate working from sun up to I hate working from sun up to sorry. I hate working from sorry, I'm so sorry. I hate working from sun up to sundown. Yesterday, we worked at least 16 hours, and even in winter, we worked at least 12 hours.
Well, at least we have jobs where people. Well, at least we have jobs, and we don't have to work in the mines where people die from accidents all the time.
I suppose, and we get paid tomorrow. We get paid for the whole week, but what are you going to do with 25 cents?
I'm saving up. I'm gonna put 5 whole cents in the bank, so someday I can buy my own horse.
Good for Jonathan. Good for you.
A quarter? Did she say they got paid 25 cents for the whole week?
Yes, at this time, employers could pay as little as they wanted, and many people in the industry were forced to live in terrible houses that their employers built for them. Houses that had leaky roofs and rats living in them.
That's gross.
And did anyone hear how many hours they worked?
I thought she said they worked from sunup to sundown. That's a lot of hours.
Yes, at this time, many industrial workers worked for 12 hours and usually more. And as you noticed, they didn't get paid much either.
But what was even worse than that was child labor.
Until around 1915 or so, hundreds of thousands of young children worked in the industry in this country instead of going to school.
Cool, I think I'd rather work than go to school, then get paid money and not have any homework.
Well, let's find out how a real child laborer felt about it at this next exhibit.
Hello there, young
young lady. I'm a newspaper reporter writing about American children working in the year of 1905. Can you tell me how old you are and where you work?
Why, yes, ma'am. My name is Molly May, and I'm 9 years old. I've been working in this mill for a year. I run the cotton machine.
So you started when you were 8?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you like working in the textile mill with cotton?
Oh, it's fine. I get paid almost 5 full cents a day to feed my sisters at home.
Newspapers for sale.
Excuse me, I'm a newspaper reporter and
Get out of here, mister. This is where I sell newspapers. Go find somewhere else to sell yours. I'll get a beating if I don't sell all my newspapers tonight.
No, I'm not selling papers. I'm writing a story about children working in the year of 1905. Can you tell me how old you are?
Well, as long as you're not going to sell no papers.
No, I just write for them.
Well, sir, I'm 10 years old. Yes, I am. I've been selling these newspapers for 5 years. I'm the best there is.
Well, I'd be happy to buy one from you. Here's a penny.
Thanks, mister.
What's your best story today? I bet you know all the news in this paper.
Oh, no, sir. I memorize the headlines, but I can't read. I can't go to school because I work instead.
Well, would you like to go to school?
Sure, but I can't. Gotta sell newspapers. Newspapers for sale.
I'll take one.
Well, what did you think?
Wow, I didn't know kids so young work so hard. I thought you'd make more money if you listened, but they sure didn't make much money.
No, hardly enough to live on. Thankfully, by 1920, people began to realize that it was more important for all children to be educated instead of going to work all day.
Yes, now there are laws that make it illegal for children to work all day, and children under a certain age can't work at all.
I still wish we didn't have homework. I think I'll take homework over selling newspapers down the street all day.
Okay, let's move along to our next exhibit. It takes place in 1880, and we'll show you what. It takes place in 1880. This museum just received this exhibit, and you will actually be the first people to see it.
Strike! Strike! Strike!
You're so loud.
Strike! Strike! Strike!
What are they saying?
Strike! Strike! Strike!
Turn it off.
Oh dear, I don't think this exhibit is working properly. They're supposed to do more than just yell all the time.
What were they talking about?
You see, workers began to grow more frustrated with long hours, little pay, and dangerous working conditions. To try to make things better, many workers decided to group together and refuse to show up for work.
Yes, and if all the workers of a company refuse to show up for work and go on strike, it can cause that company to lose money, which might help them see how important the workers actually are.
In the early 1880s, one of the first things that workers asked for was an 8-hour workday. They even wrote a slogan for what they wanted. It's written on that last exhibit. Will you read it?
It says 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, and 8 hours for what you will.
This meant that workers only wanted to work for 8 hours a day, instead of from sunup to sundown. This next exhibit will explain more about strikes and the dangers that striking workers faced.
Is this one going to be loud?
No, I know this one is working properly. Let's give it a try.
So how long have we been on strike now?
What's the date?
It's May 12th, 1886.
Well, then we've been on strike for 12 days. Don't give up. We're striking for an 8-hour day, remember?
I remember. I'm just afraid. Did you hear what happened last week in the Haymarket Square in Chicago?
No, what happened?
Oh, it was a terrible thing. There was a group of workers striking for the 8-hour day, just like us. The police came and a bomb went off.
What happened?
Several people were killed, both police officers and workers. But some people think the workers weren't the ones who started the violence.
Did they find the people who set off the bomb?
Unfortunately, no one was ever really sure who started the violence at Haymarket Square. They did arrest 8 workers, but later the governor of Illinois decided that their trial had been unfair. Unfortunately, by that time, 4 of the workers had already been punished by the courts and hanged. It was a very sad situation.
But what does this have to do with Labor Day?
Well, because of the efforts and sacrifices of many workers like these, over 100 years, laborers are granted many more rights, including an 8-hour workday and better pay. As for Labor Day, let's watch our final exhibit in the Hall of History to find out how this all fits together.
On this day, the first Monday in September, 1894, I, President Grover Cleveland, announce a national holiday to celebrate the working man and woman. We will spend this day eating, resting, and celebrating the accomplishments such people have made to this great nation of ours.
So now we celebrate Labor Day on the first Monday in September. And we celebrate this day to help us remember what a blessing it is to be able to work and the benefits work provides for our country.
On Labor Day we honor those who work for us, who have a job to do and work it every day. On Labor Day we honor those whose work so must. On Labor Day, thanks from us. They built our country from the dust and keep it going every day. The men and women who we trust, who serve us well and earn their pay. On Labor Day we honor those who work for us, who have a job to do and work it every day. On Labor Day we honor those whose work's a must. On Labor Day, thanks from us. Today we honor those who work, to all who make the world go round, to make and fix and teach and serve. Where'er you go, they will be found. On Labor Day, we honor those who work for us, who have a job to do and work it every day. On Labor Day, we honor those whose work's a must. On Labor Day, thanks from us.
We have one more thing. If you flip your programs over, you'll find the words to God Bless America. And would you please join us in singing that together?
God bless America, and our love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
If you will wait for just a second, Tom, are you going to give the presentation or should I?
We can have your attention for a minute, please. We're not quite finished. Children, sit down.
So we had a kindergarten teacher this last year, which was very nice to have. Mr. Schaller, why don't you come down and we'll come on down. And that was a very, very good blessing for us from God, and He provided our 2 kindergarten children with a wonderful education, as well as helping out with some of the lower grade things, and even recess for the upper grades too. Fortunately or unfortunately, God had a different plan for him for next year, and he'll be leaving us and moving to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which gets him a little bit closer to his Detroit Lions. He's on the way over there anyway. But he and his wife are looking forward to that. And in honor of, or in thanks for all of the work that he did for us today, we do have a cake that we purchased and would like you to share in our joy for your future. Thank you very much. So if you want to say goodbye to him, you're moving sometime in June, I believe, right? June or July, okay. So you can say goodbye to Mr. Schaller. Thanks a lot. Is there anything else to announce?
Thank you all for coming. Tomorrow is our last day of school. It is a half day of school, parents. And there won't be much school going on either. So if you would remember to pick up your children at noon tomorrow, we would appreciate it. And for now, we'll give a few minutes to get everything put out and then join us in cake and other treats and some visiting. Thanks for coming. You're asked to go through the line with your parents or a grandparent.
It's good to see you finally.